right, let's look at example 3. So we're writing and solving direct variation equations. So what this says, the value of y varies directly. Whoa, wait, those key words, varies directly. Varies directly. Whenever you see that, you know automatically you are dealing with a y equals kx. You're dealing with a direct variation. So the value of y varies directly with x, and y equals 3 when x equals 9. Find y when x equals 21. Okay, so these problems are like little puzzles, all right? It says varies directly, y varies directly with x, so we know that we're dealing with a direct variation, all right? Equation. Now what they do is they give us two pieces of information, x equals 9 and y equals 3. Now, with a direct variation equation, the only number you need to know, or the only letter you need to know to write a direct variation is k, right? That constant of variation. You know, whenever you know that constant of variation, then you can write the equation, whether it's y equals 3x, you know, that's the k. Y equals negative 2x. All you need to know is the k, right, to write the equation. So for here, they're giving us an x value and they're giving us a y value, but they're not telling us what k is. But that's okay, because how many letters do you see? How many variables? There's 1, 2, 3. And remember, whenever there's 3 variables, as long as you know 2 of them, you can figure out the third. So they gave us a 9 and what the x equals, and they gave us what the y equals. So if we substitute those values in, then we can figure out what k is. So let's go ahead and do it. So y, we're going to substitute 3 in there. We don't know what k is, but we're going to substitute 9 in for x, and then we just solve for k. So we're going to divide both sides by 9. We're going to have to simplify that. Well, we will in a second. 3 9ths equals k, right? And let's simplify it. So 3, what goes into both of those? 3. 3 goes into 3 one time. 3 goes into 9 3 times. So we actually end up with, and I'm going to swap it, k is equal to 1/3, right? So if I wanted to write that direct variation problem, I totally could, because it's just y equals kx. So y equals 1/3 x. So that is my direct variation equation. Now what this is saying is to find y when x equals 21. So these 2 points right there, what they're doing is they give us those so we can determine what k is, so we can write an equation. Then once we write an equation, they're saying, hey, find y, figure out what y is when x equals 21. So we're going to say, okay, x equals 21. I'm going to substitute 21 in there and figure out what y is. Y equals 1/3 times 21. So here, I'm just multiplying fractions, right? I'm going to look to make 21 over 1. And then whenever I'm multiplying fractions, I'm just going to look to cross cancel, right? Is there a common factor between 3 and 21? Yes, 3. 3 goes into 3 one time. 3 goes into 21 7 times. And then I multiply across. And I end up with y equals 7, which is the answer. So find y when x equals 21. When x equals 21, then y is equal to 7. All right, let's go ahead and how about you try this process on your own? So here's my friend, the Pause Dragon. Remind you to pause your device. Go ahead and work out. Check it out, example 3. When you get done, press play, and we'll see how you did. Okay, let's see how you did. So it says the value of y varies directly. There's those keywords again. That means we're dealing with a direct variation equation. Y equals kx. All right, all right. So the value of y varies directly with x, and y is equal to 4.5 when x is equal to 0.5. Then it says find y when x is equal to 10. All right, so it's telling us that x is equal to 0.5 and y is equal to 4.5. So it's giving us those 2 pieces of information, because there's 1, 2, 3 variables, right? And if we know 2, we can find the third, which is the k, which is what we need to write an equation in direct variation form. So we're just going to substitute these values in. So we have 4.5 equals k. We don't know k, but we know x. Okay. And yeah, then we're just going to get k by itself. So we're going to divide by 0.5 to both sides. All right, I'm going to take that over here, 4.5 divided by 0.5. Whenever you're dividing by fractions, you can never divide by a fraction, so you're going to move it over one place to the right, move it over one place to the right. Basically, it's 45 divided by 5, which is 9. Okay, perfect. That's awesome. So we have 9 equals k, or I'm going to right? So our constant of variation is 9, and we can go ahead and write that direct variation, right? Y equals kx, so y equals 9x because k is 9, and then it wants us to find y when x is equal to 10. All right, cool. Then we just substitute 10 in for x, and we have 9 times 10, which ends up being 90. So if you got 90, yokoniki mashita, you did a wonderful job, and I'll see you in a little bit for example 4.